Go there, on and on, and from the door, and if we can now far ahead I must follow if I...
You're late.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
It's wonderful to see you, Gandalf.
Hold it up for a few seconds. I'm going to go to the restroom, and I'll be right back, and we'll get started, okay?
You got it.
You tell that story over again?
No, he's just gonna. He's going to. Okay. Yeah. It's all being recorded, so he's just going to edit it in a bit. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, people need to hear this. Y'all need to hear this. So I don't need Tyler here to talk to you guys, right? There's a lot of weird shit going on. Okay, we got solar flares happening. There's a lot of radiation in the atmosphere, more so than ever in our lifetimes. Every damn volcano is going off, man. The Vanderbilt radiation belts are tilting. We're tilting on our accesses. Yes, thank you, baby. We have EMF readings in my room that will shoot. Normal EMF reading in a room is 1 point, maybe 5 or 6 volts. I've had 40 volt DC spikes in my damn room. Okay, I've had.
Were you talking to me?
I'm talking to the recorder.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm talking to the people.
Hell yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. And y'all need to be aware of this because this shit's happening, man. And anything AI affected or AI generated or AI assisted has the potential to have interlaced in it an underlaying message, hypnotic message, a strand of raid command. And when I say raid, I'm talking multi-stripped. Yeah, Manchurian candidate shit. Absolutely. You know, this is from MK Ultra. Okay, this is from back in the day when we first started talking to the aliens when they fucked up in 47 and said, yeah, one crash landed. And actually, a year or two before that, one crash landed in Seattle, and they announced it as well. Okay, and y'all remember when Hollywood had one above it in World War II, and they shot at it for about 45 minutes, and then it finally decided, well, if we're going to go away, you know. So I don't know if you guys are hep on what's going on as far as disclosure, but we're not alone. We've never been alone, not even close. And we are in a universe full of billions and here I'll do my best. What's his name? Billions and billions of planets, and they have life, other life that looks just like us. They'll have a little different ears. Some will have long necks. Some will be white skinned, blue skinned, purple skinned. They're insectoids, praying mantis. Yeah, mantises, you bet. And reptilians, and good reptilians and bad reptilians. Okay.
Some that went extinct a long time ago, some that went extinct recently. Like,
Yeah.
it's a whole, yeah.
Yeah, well, the ones that went extinct recently were extincted by our military and our paramilitary and our cops.
Mhm.
Okay.
Same with the Nephilim. They hunted down the last of the giants.
Yeah, absolutely. And they did their last stand out of a cave in, I believe, near Las Vegas, where the last of the redheads came out, and they were 15-foot tall, spearing people, and they finally slaughtered the rest of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they were in war with the Hopi Indian tribes for years and years and
Oh yeah,
years.
damn right they were, and it was bloody, buddy. It was fucking bloody, and
I'm
yeah,
so glad
all
people are going to see how bad shit that I really am today, because that's got to be, without cutting you off too much, that's got to be the best damn intro we could have given the show. Because
yeah, well, it's the truth, and nothing leads like the truth, man. I mean,
fucking A.
I know that there's somebody out there that needs to hear this. They need to hear it.
Fucking amen. Well, for all the listeners out there, let me give a quick introduction of who I'm speaking to here. This is my friend, Lari Bollinger, and he's an old neighbor of mine. Believe I met him in Eugene back in, I want to say 2017. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
2017?
yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had just started the website and it had been open for a couple of years. Yes, and
Yeah,
that was
Larry.
before the big. Yeah. Yeah. Go
Larry
ahead.
is the founder of Cannabis Medicine Online. He was a neighbor of mine who, crazy old bastard, just every day out on his back porch, just blasting dab and growing weed and just always there for a conversation, always inviting me over, always wanting to have a chat. I could be next door for hours and hours and hours, and this was the time that I was beginning to spiral pretty hard. I began losing my shit. Actually, towards the end of my time in that apartment building, I actually spent a lot of time avoiding you because I was so paranoid from the drugs that in my head, you were plotting to kill me. The upstairs neighbors were plotting to kill me.
Oh,
Everyone around me was plotting to kill me. Everyone from my past was watching me. Shadows coming out of the wall. I was abusing psychedelics. I was engaging in things that I should not have been engaging in.
right.
And
No, I feel you.
but
Man.
you were always the light that I could go to and have these conversations with. And it seems like you've been kind of going through some of that kind of crazy shit yourself lately, and I think we're going through a time right now where, as you said, a lot of doors are being opened and
Yeah.
shit's getting crazy.
I gave myself a fucking lobotomy, dude. I stirred my fucking brains up with a goddamn dab tool. Now, if that ain't fucking needing help, I don't know what the hell is. But you
Let's
know
start
what?
that one from the beginning. If you do, you want to tell that one to the audience?
Yeah.
Is that one that you would mind?
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when I had my big accident, I was influenced by spirits. I was influenced by what I believe were demonic entities, and I was protected by the Greys. Okay. If it weren't for the Greys, I would have perished. All right. Because they protected me, because I have a contract with them from when I was born. I was abducted my whole life. And so let's start at the beginning, Ty. Let's not just start straight from the icky stuff. Let's start from the beginning. And that's when I was coming up in Fremont, California. I was a good little kid, wore my cowboy boots, loved them to death, and my Woody Woodpecker doll. And that's all I needed, man. And I was a happy camper. And my dog Gwendolyn, who took care of me, was my babysitter. And from the time I was 2, I knew something was up. 2 to 3 years old, I knew something was up. There were other people, there were other things in my room with me, and I knew they were there, but they wouldn't reveal themselves to me. But I fucking knew they were there. And so we added on to our room, and I was in the kitchen of the first house we were in on Chetwood Street in Fremont, and I was jumping off a chair. First, I got the chair, and I went up and I reached up on the refrigerator, and I got a cool cigarette down for my mom. Kept her cigarettes up there because I wanted to know what that was all about. I was inquisitive, you know. I wanted to know, and that was not for me, man. So I snuffed that thing out, put it back in the pack. Hope she'd never notice. You know, of course she noticed. I got my ass beat for it.
Yep.
But yeah, this is back before timeouts. You know, you got a fucking whip it back then. But I was jumping off the chair. I pulled the chair away from the refrigerator. I'm jumping off the chair. I love the feeling of flight, of falling, the sensation of like a roller coaster. And I'm up and down, jumping off this chair over and over. And I thought to myself, I wonder what it'd be like if I stopped halfway down. And I jumped and I stopped halfway fucking down. And I froze in midair. Next thing I know, I'm in what I now believe is the fourth dimension with a bunch of shadow people who are having a furious fucking meeting about what I had just done. And they're talking amongst themselves. And these are the same ones who my father told me he had 107-degree temperature. And they came into his room, circled his bed, and were talking amongst themselves on whether he was going to die or not, right? Whether they're going to take him. And one of them spoke up and said, no, he's going to have a son. He needs to have the son. The son has an important mission. And my father told me this. And they told me, after talking amongst themselves, and this whole experience seemed like just like a minute, you know, like just a split second. But it wasn't. It was a lot longer than that. I found out recently. So I'm there, and the one main shadow, I guess, the one main entity says, Larry, you can't stop time. I said, why? Why can't I stop time? I didn't know. I didn't know any better. And I wanted to know why. I thought that wasn't very nice. I thought that was mean, you know, because it was fun. And he said, well, Larry, when you stop time for yourself, you stop time for everyone. And you just can't do that. So we've decided that you're not going to be able to stop time again. And they started arguing amongst themselves again. And they made their decision or whatever. What they wanted, some of them wanted to like fucking end me, you know, because that was like the decision, you know, just kill him now, you know, take him, fucking do something with him. And
Crime against the universe.
Yeah, exactly. It was exactly like they were a tribunal, man. And my shit was on the line, buddy. And I had not a clue, you know.
So
I
why,
knew that
if
they
you
were
don't,
arguing. Go ahead.
if you don't mind my interjecting, because I
Yeah.
think about this story all the time. This is a story I remember very well, and I do wonder, well, because it just kind of makes you think. Is part of the reason that they're around us that we don't activate these things is our activating these things outside of their power, and why are we allowed to roam if some of us are able to have access to these things? You know, there's just so many layers of, you know, I'm thinking of soldiers going out into the battlefield in enemy territory and they're amongst the civilians. That's kind of how I'm envisioning this in my head. Like there's a soldier in the Middle East in the town, invisible to everybody around them, completely blended
Yeah.
in and just
Yeah.
operating. And
In stealth.
it just makes
Yeah.
me wonder what the rules are, you know? Like what are the rules?
The rules are there are no rules. And that's their difficulty is there are no rules. We have free will, okay? And we are one of the few planets that has a complete free will and are a mishmash, a stir fry of fucking every piece of life in the universe. And
Stardust.
we're like this, yeah, stardust, petri dish, however you want to look at it. And so they'd made their decision. They looked at me, and without saying so, it was like, we're sending you back, telepathically. And then boom, I'm back in my body. Oh, I'm back. Blammo! Fucking land on the floor. Bust my ass. And I'm like, wow, that was like extra mean, you know?
It's kind of like a spanking on your way out.
Exactly. Yeah, because I was jumping to where I was going to land on my feet, but they had spun me apparently to where I landed on my fucking ass. Yeah, exactly. And that was done by one of the bastards that wanted to hurt me. And he did. So,
God. It's funny, but it's horrifying.
Oh, it is. But now check this shit out, Tyler. I've told you that story before, and feel honored because and y'all too, because I don't tell that story. That's the thing. I've been interviewed by the guys on Ancient Aliens. One of the guys did a 3-part story on me.
No shit.
Yeah.
When the hell was that?
That was just like 30 years ago, bro. He was just coming up, and
that's awesome.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna hold of him and send him a copy of this broadcast. I'm not gonna say his name until I have permission to say it.
Yeah. If you'd ever love to, I'd put the footage up in a heartbeat. That'd be amazing. But sorry, continue.
Yeah. No, that's quite all right. But I've started watching Gaia TV. And if y'all don't watch Gaia, watch Gaia. Okay, watch it. If you don't watch Unified, watch it. You'll learn a lot about who you are. Now, on Gaia, there has different perspectives of what is right, what is wrong. There's a lot of contradiction, but you're smart. You'll know what's up and who's full of crap and who's not.
It's all a puzzle from the universe. Like that's part of the fun is it's been given to us to solve. Like not everything's going to be right. I post shit on my channel all the time, and maybe it's real, maybe it's not. That's for us to all figure out together.
Yes, and what it is the answer is what works for you. So I'm watching Gaia, and this guy comes on like a George Nuri, and he talks about how he was in school one morning and everything froze. It was about 10:30 in the morning. Yeah, well, it's when I froze time. He spit out a date. And I said, yep, that fits. And he says, and everything stopped and everyone was frozen and I couldn't get anybody's attention. And I went out, I walked around, and I was amazed at the world and what I could do and what I could see. And this motherfucker validated to me that I did indeed freeze fucking time. Because he was on the other end of it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just want to know,
like, I think, and I'll tell you why he was awake. It's because our soul is shared. Our souls aren't our own souls. Our souls are shared and split because of the cache of souls and the amount of humans there are.
Part of a collective conscious.
Yes, and your soul can be in as many as 24 people at one time. Okay, so this guy had a piece of my soul. I stopped time for me and however many people my soul had pieces into, right?
See, that makes me feel like that makes me think Harry Potter, and how Voldemort, in an effort to not get killed, had to put a part of his soul into the different Horcruxes. It makes me
Yeah.
wonder if there are people in the elite trying to wipe out human souls in an effort to keep them from getting to heaven or to their higher selves. If it's not as
Well,
simple as killing off one person, if there might be an effort in some forms or fashions to figure out who has what connections spiritually speaking and start going after
yeah.
them in that way.
Okay, so you start to have to think about the magic numbers now, right? The
Mhm.
magic numbers are 144,000. All right. So 144,000 is the number of the quote chosen unquote, or the lambs of God, the oracles, whatever you want to call them. You got to be really careful what you call them, because the guys, the black ops guys, will come, and men in black are real, buddy,
Yeah.
and they'll threaten to kill your parents and your grandparents. I've had it happen, and uh, yeah. Let me touch upon that real quick.
Yeah, real quick, do you think that the Men in Black are human agents, or do you think that they're of alien origin, extra dimensional origin, whatever have you? Because I've heard the theory that essentially they're shapeshifters and that the black cloaks are essentially, think of it like Venom in the Marvel movies, how the symbiote turns into different suits and outfits and whatnot, and there's a reason they try to hide their faces and keep in the shadows. And then
Yeah,
simultaneously, it also kind of makes me think of the creatures that came out during the Florida Miami incident. Just
right.
all these different things. I'm just like, I do believe in shapeshifters. I do
Well,
believe in
absolutely.
shapeshifters.
Yeah, watch some trail foot cam footage. You know, you'll see some pretty creepy shit out there in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night, buddy.
Just half
And
phased, picking a new shape. Like, yeah,
yeah, no, they'll get stuck half between, and they're having a hard time with this shit too, because the radiation poisoning that's going on, the acid rains that are happening right now, are happening to them as well. Okay,
ooh,
zombies, zombies, yeah, fuck yeah, yeah, you bet, vampires, hell yes, you bet, buddy. And it's stuff that you would think, oh, this is such bullshit. No, it's fucking not bullshit. It's insane. It's crazy. It's hard grasp.
if everything
But
else in Revelations come true, why shouldn't the demon shit come true? If all the
absolutely
natural disasters and the cosmic events and the dates and the red
right.
heaven, all these different, if all that shit's coming true, well, guess what's coming next? And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And what it's going to end up being is 1,000 years of peace, and 1,000 years. I'm talking biblical years, biblical lifetimes back to us who have been, our lives have been shortened and clipped so that we can be controlled and used for workers for nefarious reasons. Okay,
do you
for
subscribe to
greedy
the theory that
entertainment.
yeah. Do you subscribe to the theory that we're in Satan's little season, that the apocalypse technically already happened and what we've been living through is Satan's rule, and that we're actually coming to the end of that period, and that I think it was like something like 1,000 years was actually shaved off the dates initially in an effort to kind of set everybody back cosmically, and that could be why we're being thrown out of balance right now, is as we're awakening, the clock is wrong, and that in turn with our internal selves and spiritual selves and physical selves, that's becoming a bit of a problem and people aren't able to handle the reality of that.
Dude, it just got really fucking cold in here, and I have super fucking chills right now.
Pissing off demons, Larry. Pissing off demons.
Yeah, well, when I was 14, uh, I I had a lucid dream, and I was in a bar sitting next to this average looking Joe, and he orders me a beer, and I said, I'm not old enough. He says, you're old enough here. And he put down a schooner of beer. I had no idea what a schooner was.
What's a schooner?
A big 32-ounce fistful of beer, right?
Oh,
And chilled glass type thing. So he says, might as well start drinking now. He says, you're going to drink a shitload during your life. And I said, oh, really? How do you know that? He says, I know. And he opens up this book, and I take a sip of beer, and I'd never had beer before, and I distinctly remember the taste, and I didn't really care for it. Had a backwash kind of taste at the end. It wasn't my deal. I didn't really care for it. And he said, "Oh, you will." And he opens up this picture book, unfolds it, and it's a photo album, and it has pictures of lakes of fire, of uh, faces melted into faces, into faces, into faces of burning and torment, and essentially pictures of hell. And he would look at it and touch the picture with his finger, and as he touch it, it would move like a little movie projector. It
Kind of
would
like a
show you.
painting, like when you're in an acid trip, kind of just shifting around.
No, the pictures would come to life, not life, but within the pictures, it was like the Indian, yeah, like a video of it. It's like the
Mm,
Indians say when you take a picture, you capture a piece of the soul.
yeah.
Well, this would be the pieces of the soul that were captured in these pictures. And he points from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And he's showing me all these horrid pictures of hell and torment and people suffering and agony and just despair like nothing I'd ever seen. It was horrible. And I said, he says, "You're going there." And I said, "No, I'm not. You'll never get me." Tyler, he looked at me, closed his book up, slammed it down on the table, on the bar table. And he goes like, he says, "I've already got you." And he goes, "Poof," raised his arms. And as he did, he turned into the black winged demon, tail, horns, classic devil, and flew off. And I woke up in a pool of sweat, screaming, terrified, because I knew it wasn't a dream. I knew that shit just fucking happened. And so, yeah, I've already got you. And right after that was the haunting really, you know, it escalated hard. Oh, not to mention, at that time, I was in a house that was formerly a witch's coven.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah, the door was still painted black and whatnot. And they did lots of ceremonies in there. They had elementals that they'd created to help do their spells and whatnot. The elemental would chase me around, give me nightmares, and I'd wake
Fuck.
up and there'd be the big giant floating head above me watching me, and you know, um, nightmares of being wrapped in plastic and buried alive, wrapped in visqueen, buried alive, wrapped in plastic, buried alive. You know, you
How
got
old
to
were you at this
remember
point?
this is, huh?
How old were you at this
I
point?
was about 13, 14,
Jesus, man.
freshman in high school. Yeah,
Fuck.
freshman in high school, buddy. And yeah, you know, but
Where
see,
what was your family life like? Like where were your parents during all this? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
yeah, see, I was always entrepreneurial spirit. Uh, my grandmother also was Myrtle White, born with a veil. Uh, one of the strongest witches I've ever seen to this day. Um, um, I told them to follow their dream. My mom kept looking at this dress store that they're opening, and it was a franchise. It was called Trend of Fashion, and she wanted it bad, and I could tell she wanted it bad. So I told her, go get the phone number. This is going to be hours. I need to raise you. You're my son. Go get the damn phone number. And she did. She called, and they put it together, and they opened up 2 Trend of Fashion stores. One was right next to a Radio Shack, so I was happy. I'd go play with the stereos, and then the guys there next door at the Radio Shack, they let me putter around, and before too long, I was puttering around, selling thousands of dollars of stuff each week, doing the books. You know, this is at, I was a teenager, man. The original manager came in, wanted to buy a quadraphonic stereo. Ha 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 ha. I said, don't waste your money, pal. Come over here. Get this. This is made by Marantz. This is made by the top stereo manufacturer, rebranded as Realistic. It's the best you're going to get. Listen to the quality. Listen to the power. Pump it out. But quadraphonic has 4 speakers. And I said, and what are you going to do? You're going to listen to Quadrophenia all day? I said, what other album are you going to listen to? He goes, there aren't any other albums? No. No, there's Quadrophenia, and that's it. And I love the Who, don't get me wrong. But no, there's not. You know? And at that point, he offered me my own Radio Shack store.
Shit.
Yeah, my own store at 14. So I've always had an
Different times.
Dude, when I was 8 or 9, my dad was going to get he called them, it was Montgomery Wards. It was a catalog store, right? They still had catalog stores, and you would take the catalog in, go in, order out of the catalog, and the catalog store would get it in, assemble whatever, and take it to you. And but those being phased out, and I knew it. But I was the youngest person to go to Montgomery Ward's catalog store training, and I fucking aced it, buddy, because I was taking the test with, because they didn't have childcare for them, and so I'm sitting there taking all this stuff, and I'm listening, and I'm waxing all these, pretty soon the adults are asking me, what did he say? So I've always had this entrepreneurial thing going on,
That makes a lot of sense knowing you. Like,
well, yeah, it's just kind of how it is. But yeah, but I don't know. They started taking me when I was 5. I could astral project. I could leave my body, and I would call it flying the bed. I would take the bed, and I would take the bed and zoom out the wall and fly around the neighborhood in my bed at night or whenever.
So it would only happen in your bed?
At first, and then I was told, you don't have to take your bed, and I was like,
it's kind of like training wheels, basically.
Basically, and I told her, like, well, I feel more comfortable doing this, and this is one of my guides or my higher self telling me myself this, and I'm like, well, I feel more secure, and well, next time, try it without the bed and see what happens, and okay, I'll try it tonight. And I did. I went outside and I flew around my neighborhood, and it was late. It was dark, and nobody was out, nobody to play with. And I went out and I flew around a street light for a while and said, oh, this is boring, and went back home. It's
like a moth.
Absolutely. Moth syndrome, buddy. Straight to the light. And, after a week or 2 of this, I woke up one morning and my brother was at the foot of my bed. And he said, hi, how are you? In a very calming voice. And I said, oh, good, David. What's up? I just wanted to talk to you. I miss you. I wanted to speak to you. Okay, about what? Well, about your life, about some of the things that are going to happen to you. And I said, what are you talking about? He says, well, I know certain things, and I want you to know throughout your life that certain things will happen to you. And I want you to remember this conversation that we're having right now, to know that what you know in your heart is true and that these things are real and actually happening to you. And it's okay, but things like what? He says, well, things like you're going to want long hair all your life. He says, but your hair is very fragile, frays at the end, and you don't take good care of it. And it'll be gray before it ever gets long. He
Jeez.
was absolutely right. Um, said you're going to break your back, and it's going to be awful. He says you're going to come close to death, but you're going to survive it. And he said the doctor is going to be on cocaine, and he's going to start hallucinating that he's a butcher and you're a hog. And I said that's horrible, and that happened. Yeah, that
And just to
happened.
ask real quick, when you're speaking with your brother, had your brother passed away? Was this a visitation or was this your brother alive?
My brother was asleep in the other room. This is a fucking entity dressed up as my brother, wearing clothes from a school picture of him in the kitchen, Ty. Okay. He was in black Levi pants, a leather belt, and a black, red, and white, basically black with red and white pinstripes. I see you got chills. Sorry.
Dude, I
But
chills, crying, my vision's like bouncing. I don't the stripes. We'll return to the stripes where we need to come back to the
okay.
Nephilim and the stripes.
All right.
Continue, but that just
Yeah.
that
So
just made me
I'm.
want to open the door to my studio just so I could
Yeah.
hear someone in the other room. Fuck,
Yeah, buddy.
continue. I'm sorry. I'm
This
sorry.
shit's real. This shit's
Fuck.
real. Oh, did you see the shadow over my head?
I was busy
Yeah.
worrying about my own, dude.
Uh,
I got a
Pretty
big
sure I
black
did.
TV in front of me, and I've
Yeah.
told you before about my fucking around with black mirrors, and I'm not saying shit's happened. I'm just saying that
No, I
people
get it.
don't
And
realize how this shit works, you know. I
yeah,
because
no,
I want
no,
this
they
channel
do.
to be for like normal people to have a
Right.
view into the shit that you and I have seen and dealt with, because
Yeah.
I really do kind
Yeah.
of have to dance around it to sound sane in other conversations, but this
No, I
is
understand.
we exist alongside other realms. We do,
Yes, we do.
and who cares
Yes,
about
we
sounding
do.
bad shit if the world might get nuked tomorrow? You know, really, who
That's
cares?
exactly. So let me wrap up this section here.
Yeah, please do.
And he's telling me that that I'm going to get married, and that my son was going to be killed, that he was going to be hung, and that I was going to break my back, that I was going to, and I started going, "You're not my brother." I told him, "Who are you? Who are you?" And he looks and he went like this. He said, "Just a moment." And he turned his head sideways like this. See his lips moving. Can't hear a word he's saying. He looks back at me and he says, "Larry, I have to go now." And whoosh, he was gone. It's like grabbed his feet, yanked him underneath the fucking bed. Boom, he's gone. He's fucking gone. And
Why am I crying right now? I'm literally
because
like tearing up from this shit. Like
you
you
know,
told me all this horrible shit, and I've been fine till now. Like
yeah,
there's something
well,
fucking weird about that.
that's because it's true. It's the truth. You can't imitate the truth, buddy.
Hmm.
Now,
I believe you.
when this happened, I I froze. I was, oh man, I got goosebumps. I was terrified. I went under my covers for a while. I kept poking my head out to see if they were there, and they were going to get me. And and then I finally got the strength to get up, you know, and I went and I ran to my brother's room, and he's asleep, and I threw open the door and I jumped on the bed and I started punching him in the fucking head. How dare you scare me like that? Blam, blam, blam. And I'm fucking my brother up. He's 6 years older than me.
Jesus.
And he's running from me. And I am like on him like a fucking cheap suit, right? And then all hell breaks loose in the house. You know, dad
Yeah.
gets up, mom's up.
And that's how
And
fucking demons work. They
yeah,
get into your
exactly.
conscious, they get you to freak out, and then they activate you into causing chaos and feed on that energy.
Dude,
That's what they fucking
when
do.
I was crawling before I could walk, these things are fucking talking to me, telling me grab the key, grab mom's key, stick it in the hole in the wall,
Mhm.
right? The plug, yeah, stick it in the plug, trying to get me to kill myself, right? So
Take
these
you
fucking
before your
things have been
time, distract you from your mission.
trying to kill me. So whatever it is I'm supposed to do right now, and I'm telling you, I'm doing it by talking to you people. This is what I'm supposed to do, okay, is to tell this story. And oh man, so mom starts chilling everybody out. She wants to know, he was in bed. He couldn't have done it. What was he wearing? And she goes, I'll go look for the clothes. And I went out of the kitchen. I said, that's what he was wearing. That's what he was wearing right there. Honey, no, he wasn't. Yes, he was. He was wearing that. Sweetheart, he wore through that shirt last summer. I threw it away months ago. He doesn't have that shirt anymore. So it went through my house. It got the most trusted person in my life, my brother, and imitated him in order to gain my confidence.
I
30
want
years
to.
later, 30 years later, I'm told my mother watched the same thing happen with my aunt Jerry. 5 sisters. They all been dead for 10, 15 years. And Jerry, still kicking. Yeah, same thing happened to her. So, yeah, you know. And after that happens, the next day, Ty, I would wake up with melodies in my head, songs interlacing, sound, Beethoven, Bach, Tchaikovsky, everything going through my head, frequencies, right? Which is healing, which is sound heals. Sound can hurt, sound can heal, sound can blow something up, right? So
Mhm.
it's a form of healing as well as light. Light can also heal or hurt or
Absolutely.
harm. So working
It's a
together,
weapon.
light,
Depends on how you use it.
yes, for good or for evil. And that's it. People ask me, what's the Bible all about? What's the key to the universe? Positive and negative.
Mhm.
Really, that simple. Absolutely. It's what one you choose, good or bad. So I wake up and I'm waking up with these frequencies and I stop, leave me alone, stop. It was so bad. And I woke up one morning, the frequencies were particularly loud. I had been running through, at that point, I was astral projecting to the moon, to other planets, to black holes, to the purple planet that spins, that has these things that go zzz, and then the whole planet will spin, right? And there's spaceships in the air that they're alive. Okay,
You're describing a Dyson sphere, or
It's a Dyson sphere. Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what it
Which is
is.
actually something that they recently got photos of, mind you, and have been blasting all over the news. They're like, what, 8 or 9 of them? They're thinking,
It's a lot more than that, buddy.
well, yeah, well, just the photos that they prove, but it's just kind of to be like, all right, they're slow dripping this shit. It's not that bad shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
You want disclosure? Go on YouTube and look at NASA. Look at the James Webb Telescope footage. Look at the pillars of creation. Look into the gases and see what you see. Okay, yeah. High five,
Skulls and hands. Well, the pillars of creation more like fingers, but
yeah.
yes, some of these are very, very obvious images. It's more than just seeing a picture in a cloud. It's like there would be something built around that as like a spiritual structure. Like if you were a planet outside of a cosmos that looked like a skull, you would probably build some sort of culture around the cosmos skull cloud. You know?
Wouldn't you think? How about a planet that's an eyeball that has octopus legs coming out of it? They've got pictures of it. Okay, so if you can think it, you can. It is, and that's what that's about. That's a manifestation, and we are the power manifestors. That's us.
We create reality.
So we absolutely do, and we're all quote God unquote, and I mean that loosely, of our own perception of this universe, and we must choose kindness. It's a choice, and you choose happiness. That's a choice. Don't be influenced by spirits around you, by others around you, by chaos. Exactly, and just don't do it. So you can stay away from that. And it's a good choice to stay away from. Go ahead.
Sorry, here. Let me go piss just real quick. Give me like 1 minute, and I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Well, all right. Can I?
Do you want to talk to the people while I go?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, then it's my turn. So I wake up the next morning or two. These frequencies are going through my head. They won't stop. They're driving me freaking nuts. But I know that it's important. Okay. And at the same point in time in my life, I would get bored at night and I could go, let's watch TV. And I could project the Flintstones onto my ceiling. I can't hear it. And I could turn it up and it would do dialogue. And Barney would ask me, "Oh, what do you want me to do, Larry?" And Fred would be all there and all the characters were there and they would do whatever I would write them or wish them to do. And I could create my own cartoons and then watch them for my enjoyment. And I thought everybody could do this. I didn't know any better. Okay. I thought everyone could do this. I thought this is something any kid could do. And little did I know that that's how you get labeled schizophrenic and shit like that. Bipolar. They watch you, they pull you out of class, and yeah. So be careful what you say to and who you say it to. But I'm aware that something's coming. I'm still in bed. I just got back from astral projecting back to my grandfather's house. And when I would astral project, there was no one there. I'm just like, I'm visiting the building, but there are no souls there. Okay. And I came back and I thought, well, somebody's coming. And the wall turned green. It's like Rick and Morty, okay, with his portal gun, and he shoots it, and whoop, through the wall, in comes a tall gray and 3 short grays or ebens, okay. And 3 evens are carrying a floating stretcher. And they say, we need you to come with us. We need to take a look at you and make sure that you're okay. And that we're going to be taking you at certain times in your life. And don't worry that we will be there when you need us. But right now, you need to trust us. We're not going to hurt you. And you need to come us. You need to come and lay down on here, and then we will take you out. And I remember laying down, and I don't remember anything past that. And interestingly enough, I started doing my family heritage, and uh, my dad's name is Roy. My grandfather's name is Carl. My great grandfather was named George Washington Bollinger, who started that one organization that helps all the people here, St. Paul, St. Vincent. So
Oh, St. Vinny's.
yeah, yeah,
Oh shit.
my great grandfather started that,
Yeah,
and
for people who don't know out there, St. Vinny's, it's Goodwill, but it's better. And recently they put one
yeah,
within like less than a mile apart from each other all over Eugene, and you can get like, you think Goodwill's cheap, you can get some really cheap clothes. You go and you get books for like $1.50. They do a lot of stuff for the homeless. They do a lot of charities. They really like work with the community.
they help. Yeah.
Cheap furniture for when you're moving into places. They'll even give you free furniture that they're going to toss out and have movers that'll bring it to you. Like St. Vinny's really supports a lot in here. They've
Oh
helped me out
yeah,
on
yeah.
numerous occasions.
Young single mothers, they'll set them up with the whole household, beds, furniture, kitchen utensils, everything. They're good souls.
They're where I
And
get all my Star Wars books.
how about it? So George Washington's Bollinger's father was named Eben, and his father before him was named Eben. So no alien influence there, right? Come on, give me a break. So yeah, man. So they take me, and then all of a sudden I'm, back in my bed, don't remember a thing. I remember them coming in, but that was about it. And as far as I thought, that was it. It was over. But yeah. So
Coming into you out of context is so fucking wild. I walk away and you're like, all right, there's a portal like Rick and Morty, and the Greys walk out, and I'm just like, is this what my husband would feel like coming out listening to us talk in the middle of the night? Like, what the fuck are they on about? So I just want to ask real quick. So when you say that
okay.
you've had contact with the Greys, same way that there's varying degrees of reptilians, there's various different races of Greys, and I know the
Yes.
main one that I believe we have are the most modern mainstream perception of is Calypsi Rye. Would that be the same species that you believe you were in contact with, or do you believe it was a different form?
This Calypsi rye, I'm not familiar with the terminology of this. Or is this the taller gray?
I think they're the
Okay.
taller gray ones. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Here, while
See,
you're
they're
talking, I'm
the
gonna
ones.
pull up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Please do, to clarify. I've heard the term. See, and that's the whole thing about Gaia is everybody's got their own freaking idea of how it is and
Mm-hmm.
what it is, and they got their own name of shit. What I know is that the
Yeah, and
little
where I'm
Eben.
referring isn't. Good. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say the Ebens, the little Ebens are they're manufactured. They don't have a soul. They are aware. They would like a soul. They're very friendly. They're very helpful, and they can operate in the third dimension very well. The ones that are telling them what to do are the taller grays, and they not much because they're from the fifth dimension, the sixth or seventh dimension. I'm not quite sure, but they have a hard time operating here. Gravity is hard on them, you know, and they are working in turn for the uh, um, Yeah, for the insects. The mantis.
The mantis.
The mantis.
Yeah, because there's that story, I posted it on my channel recently. There's the guy, I think he was down in Brazil or Peru or somewhere down there, South or Central America, but he did all these paintings of the aliens that he would sleep with, and there was the different various gray entities, but then there was also the mantis that would work with them on the ship, and was also kind of more
Right.
the scientist type figure that was working with the embryos, because as he was sleeping with the aliens, he was essentially interbreeding, and they were taking his DNA and sperm collections and multiplying. This is what I have on Slipsy Rye, by the way, and this is going on.
Yeah, that's what they picked me for. I was a donor, and I probably got tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of children out there.
Okay, before we get to that, I'm gonna read off Slipsy Rye just so we can get that off the bat, because this is why I fucking love you, man. Like, seriously, I'm glad that I could have like my favorite person on the planet to like. You're really. Whenever I started this, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I want Larry to come on here. That'd be the shit. So I have Slipsy Rye. They're a peaceful and harmonious race. One main leader named Yamartin. Civilization 2 billion years old. Once they were at the same level of development as ourselves. They have no colonies. They're completely focused on the development of other planets and races. They come from this constellation Cygnus. They do have one powerful weapon that keeps some neighboring violent races away, and others that may try to invade them. And at one time, the Martyr lost 5 ships because of it. They said that the human race in the next 1,000 years has 645 options left to save ourselves, and that our planet to guarantee a future for our race, but it will all depend on our ability to travel through space. They are Slipsy Rye, but we call them the Greys. And that's from the KGB Book of Alien Races.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Martin himself, he came and presented himself as human.
You said his name was Martin?
Martin? Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny because the spelling on here is literally it's YMARTYYYN is how the book spells it.
Okay. Yeah, well, he came and started he was the one who gave the pictures to the guy. Okay. The paintings. That was him. And they have been reading out ever since, trying to help us to save our species, save our planet, which hopefully we'll be able to save. I believe we can. Either way, this planet will survive. Whether we survive with it is a whole other story. So,
well, the good thing that I've been learning on this channel is that the whole damn planet is run by communists. And the thing about communists, they put all the fucking retards at the top. Like, so much of this shit has fallen apart, but then at the same time, a lot of it's designed to fall apart at specific points. So it's also something to be aware of. But I think the incompetency of there is such a high level of incompetency and narcissism and ego. There is so much ego that it clouds the mind of these satanic demonic figures to where I don't think they're going to see the light coming at them until it's too late, until it blinds them. They're just going to sit there cocky on their thrones until it's too late.
They'll be fighting it about amongst themselves, killing themselves to take the kill shot of whatever or whoever it is that they need to further their nefarious agenda. Okay. Now, the 1%, I believe, is willing to burn this planet because they have intergalactic trade and have had their whole life. Right? Why do you?
So you don't got to worry about this fucking planet. You really don't.
Why do you think it's called a Dyson spear, or maybe a Dyson vacuum, or you know? Come on. Am I saying Dyson vacuums are Dyson spear makers? No. But I also know from my many years that there's no such thing as coincidence. Okay. So anyway, Tyler, I'm feeling it, man. I'm going to have to wrap up for tonight if that's okay with you. Because
absolutely.
I feel well. I'm starting to rock back and forth. I can feel the spirits pushing on me. I don't want to say something wrong or say something that's going to get me in trouble. Okay.
Fair enough. Well, Larry, I appreciate your time and thank you for being willing to speak with the people about this. Thank you for willing to talk with me about a lot of this. I fucking love you, man.
I love you too, brother, and I would love to pick this up again.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about the Ouija board experience that led me to this house. The murmurs in the living room that were gone 50 years ago in my life that started, and I heard the first night I woke up, or the first morning I woke up, and I heard the same murmurs. Come in. The same murmurs from the same ghosts that were haunting me 50 years ago were here in this house waiting for me. When I almost died of, thank you, when I almost died of COVID the first time, uh, um, in through my hospital door was a white stream, looked like white noise. And it came in, it turned, and it went directly over my bed. And I knew that that was the Akashic stream. And I reached into it, and my grandfather said, "You need to hurry up, boy. You're running out of fucking time." So I'm going to leave you with that. And we'll talk about time. It's relative, and quantum entanglement. There's so many more.
What I'm hearing is you're gonna be a regular. That's what I'm hearing. So I'm gonna used to get together every night and do this shit. Y'all wonder why I'm so crazy. This dude was my neighbor for years. We fucking do this shit for hours till the sun come up. Like I miss these conversations, man. Like, thank you again for reaching out to me. Like, it means a lot.
No, thank you, Ty. Thank you, brother, man, because it's really important that people hear this. I know. I told you I was compelled that we're gonna save lives by speaking about this, because people just don't talk about it.
People need to know the darkness.
They'll talk about it as if they're an expert. They'll sell their hypnosis or their book, but nobody's out there getting their hands dirty. Love you all. I love you all. I want to wish you good night and good way. You have to choose happiness. Drop your egos. You're not shit, but together we are one, and we will all rise together. Okay? Don't be influenced by hate. Don't be influenced by negativity or those around you who are spreading an evil, vile message. Know in your heart the difference, and choose life, choose right, choose goodness, and love each other. Peace and love.
Amen.
All right,
peace and love, man.
Yeah, for old bastard who was in the secret space program, I was a warrior, dude. I've got stories, but I tell you what, anymore, I'm just a big baby when it comes to this stuff, because I'm so passionate that people need to get together. We've got to do this. If we don't, we're going to lose everything.
And we don't even have to do it violently. We can do it by what you and I are doing right now. Get your friend together on the camera.
1% is the tipping point. 1% of us wake up. 1% of us join each other mentally in good thought and good harmony, and the rest will follow.
And might I suggest it be the fucking people who've seen some shit, the people they've been trying to censor. Don't tell your stories. Don't say that. Don't do that. Don't think that. Do it, say it, think it out loud right now, because they are coming for our rights. They are coming for our lives. They're coming for our country and our planet. And the best way to say fuck them is by running your fucking mouths.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Tell the story. The time for disclosure is now. It's no more time to shut your fucking mouth and pretend it didn't happen. Grow some balls. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but don't. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, dear. Be careful you don't end up in the fucking loony bin. Okay.
But if you do, educate them.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's real easy for somebody to fucking use that and against you. So,
True.
yeah, absolutely. Find yourself in the old folk home.
Don't push it.
Yeah, don't push them. All righty, I love you. I got to hit the head.
All right, peace,
Talk
love,
to you
man.
soon.
I think people don't totally understand what I do with my time. They think I'm a business guy or something like that. I'm an alien. Alien. I'm an alien. I don't think you'd necessarily want to be me. But yeah, people would like it that much. It's very hard to turn it off. It might sound great turned on. But what if it doesn't turn off? All the time. Doesn't stop. All the time. Doesn't stop. All the time. Doesn't stop. It's like a never-ending explosion. Yeah. I'm an alien. Alien. I'm an alien. Alien. I'm an alien. Alien. I'm an alien. Alien. When I was, 5 or 6 or something, I thought I was insane. Because it was clear that other people did not. Their mind wasn't exploding with ideas. All the time? No. It was just strange. It was like, I'm strange. I'm an alien. I hope they wouldn't find out. Alien. They might put me away or something. I'm an alien. I hope they wouldn't find out. Alien. They might put me away or something. I like to get things done. I like to be useful. That is one of the hardest things to do. To be useful. Doing something useful for other people. That I like doing. Yes.